Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you today about something that touches us all. There's a pain that runs so deep, a hurt so real, that it makes you want to lash out, to seek revenge. Oh, I know that feeling all too well. Someone hurts you in a way that shakes your very soul. They betray you, lie to you, or leave you in a place you never thought you'd be. You want them to feel your pain. You want them to know what it feels like to be left empty and broken. But I'm here to tell you, revenge is not the answer. When someone hurts you deeply, your first instinct might be to fight back. It feels like the right thing to do. After all, they've wronged you. Shouldn't they feel some sort of consequence for the pain they've caused? But here's the truth: revenge doesn't heal. It only adds to the cycle of pain, and in the end, it only leaves you more broken than before. When we seek revenge, we're holding on to the very thing that hurt us. We're letting it fester inside, letting it fuel our actions and decisions. What revenge does is give the person who hurt you power over you. Instead of moving forward, you stay stuck in a loop of bitterness, anger, and resentment. It consumes you, and no matter how much you retaliate, it will never bring you the peace you're seeking. In fact, it only digs you deeper into that pain. Healing, on the other hand, requires letting go. It demands that you release the hold that anger and hurt have on your heart. It means finding a way to rise above the situation, to take back your power by choosing to let go of the bitterness. The healing process isn't easy. It's a journey that takes time, patience, and understanding, but it's the only way to truly move forward. When you choose healing, you're choosing yourself, you're choosing your peace. You're choosing to move forward, not backwards. Revenge tells the world that you're still tethered to the person who wronged you. Healing tells the world that you've risen above it all. Anger is a natural response when someone hurts you, but it is not the most powerful one. In fact, anger often clouds your judgment, making you react in ways that you may regret later. It feels like a quick fix, a burst of energy that lets you vent your frustration. But while anger may bring temporary relief, it never brings true peace. Instead, it weighs you down, keeping you trapped in a state of turmoil and conflict. When we choose anger, we let the actions of others define how we feel, how we think, and how we react. The person who hurt you might not even be aware of the storm they've caused in your life, yet their actions have now taken control of your emotions. You're no longer in the driver's seat. Your peace, your calm, your ability to think clearly and move forward, all of it is hijacked by that anger. Peace, however, is a choice. It's an intentional decision to take a step back, to breathe, and to view the situation from a place of understanding instead of reaction. When you choose peace over anger, you're not allowing anyone to control your emotional state. You're reclaiming your power. You're saying, I am bigger than this situation. I am bigger than the hurt you've caused me. Choosing peace is not about denying the hurt or pretending that everything is fine. It's about taking responsibility for your own well-being, recognizing that your peace of mind is more important than holding on to the bitterness. When you hold on to anger, you hold on to the negativity. But when you choose peace, you create space for healing, for clarity, and for growth. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. We've been taught that forgiving someone means we're letting them off the hook, that we're allowing them to get away with their wrongdoings. But the truth is, forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with you. Forgiveness is not a weakness. It is one of the greatest acts of strength you can perform. When you forgive, you are choosing to rise above the hurt. You are choosing not to let someone else's actions define who you are or how you feel. It takes strength to forgive because it means letting go of the anger, the pain, and the resentment that may have been holding you hostage for so long. It means refusing to let your life be controlled by bitterness. Instead of letting the hurt define your future, you decide that you will take back your power. Forgiveness doesn't mean you condone what was done to you. It doesn't mean you forget the harm or the betrayal. It means you free yourself from the chains of negativity that have been weighing you down. It means that you stop carrying the burden of someone else's wrong and refuse to let their actions continue to steal your peace. You are strong enough to say, I won't let this break me. True strength lies not in holding on to pain, but in releasing it. When you forgive, you set yourself free. You stop allowing the wounds of the past to keep you tethered to a time and place that no longer serves you. Instead, you choose to move forward with the wisdom that comes from experience, the courage that comes from healing, and the resilience that comes from growth. Forgiveness requires a deep understanding that holding on to hurt only damages you further. It takes strength to face that pain, acknowledge it, and still choose to forgive. It takes strength to look at someone who has wronged you and decide that you will no longer let their actions take up space in your heart. By forgiving, you are choosing your own peace, your own healing, and your own growth. That, my friends, is where true strength lies. When someone hurts you, it's easy to get caught in the web of pain and disappointment. You can find yourself consumed by the injustice, replaying the hurt over and over and over in your mind, wondering why it happened and wishing things had turned out differently. But in that moment of hurt, the last thing you should do is focus on the person who caused the pain. Because while they might have a role in what's happened, the one who can truly heal and grow from this situation is you. Your focus needs to be on your growth. Growth doesn't come from holding on to the past or dwelling in the hurt. It doesn't come from fixating on what was done to you or plotting ways to make someone else pay. Growth comes when you decide to look inward, to ask yourself what lessons can be learned, what strengths you can build, and how you can use this experience to propel yourself forward. Pain is not just something to endure, it's something to grow through. When you focus on your growth, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance. You stop letting the actions of others define you or your future. Instead, you begin to ask yourself powerful questions. How can I use this experience to become stronger? How can I use this pain to make me more compassionate, more resilient, more understanding? It's about seeing the bigger picture of your life and knowing that while this moment may be painful, it is not the whole story. This is just a chapter, not the whole book. Your growth is also about taking responsibility for your own journey. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to let this hurt define you, or you can choose to use it as fuel for the fire of your personal transformation. When you focus on growth, you understand that each challenge, each setback, each heartbreak is a chance to become better, wiser, and more grounded in who you truly are. Growth teaches you to adapt, to learn from your experiences, and to rise from every fall. It's not about how many times you stumble, it's about how many times you rise stronger and more focused than before. Focusing on your growth means taking the time to heal, but also taking the time to reflect and learn. It means using the energy that might otherwise be wasted on anger, regret, or revenge and redirecting it towards improving yourself, your mind, your heart, your spirit. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for you to evolve into a better version of yourself. When you choose to grow, you realize that nothing, no hurt, no pain, no setback can keep you from moving forward on your path. When someone hurts you, the immediate reaction is often to retaliate, to defend yourself, and to react with anger or frustration. It's natural to want to protect yourself from further pain, but what if, instead of responding with more hurt, you paused and tried to understand? Empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, can be a powerful tool for healing and growth, both for you and for the person who caused the pain. Empathy doesn't excuse bad behavior, nor does it mean you have to tolerate being mistreated. It's about recognizing that people's actions are often driven by their own experiences, struggles, and internal battles that you may not be able to see. When someone hurts you, it's often because they are hurting themselves. Pain is a powerful force, and people who are suffering tend to lash out, sometimes without even realizing the impact of their actions. Understanding that their hurt may be behind their actions doesn't diminish the pain they've caused you, but it opens up a space for healing and a more thoughtful response. Empathy requires you to take a step back, to look beyond the offense and to ask yourself why this person might have acted the way they did. What are they going through that might have led them to hurt you? Are they dealing with their own insecurities, fears, or past trauma? Could it be that their actions, though painful to you, stem from a place of misunderstanding or even fear? Empathy allows you to see the bigger picture and not just the immediate pain they've caused. Understanding doesn't mean that you have to agree with the person or accept their behavior. It means recognizing that people are complicated and their actions don't always reflect their true selves. We all carry burdens that we may never fully understand, and sometimes people lash out because they don't know how else to express their pain or frustration. When you practice empathy, you open your heart to the idea that while you may not agree with someone's actions, they are still human and deserving of compassion, just like you. Empathy is also about recognizing your own humanity. When you understand the pain and struggles of others, you become more aware of your own weaknesses and imperfections. It humbles you and helps you realize that we all have moments when we hurt others, sometimes unintentionally. It encourages self-reflection, helping you grow as a person. Instead of focusing only on your own hurt, empathy allows you to see the situation from multiple angles and in turn gives you the opportunity to react with understanding and grace. Practicing empathy doesn't mean you should allow yourself to be mistreated. It's not about making excuses for bad behavior, but it does give you the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively out of anger. It's about choosing to understand, to soften your heart, and to approach the situation with more compassion, not only for the person who hurt you, but also for yourself. Because in the end, the more understanding you have, the less room there is for resentment or bitterness to take root. Empathy opens the door to healing, not just for the person who hurt you, but for your own soul as well. In a world that often tells us to fight back, to stand up for ourselves, and to strike when we've been wrong, there's one weapon that stands above all others: love. Love is often seen as soft, passive, or even naive, but it is, in reality, the most powerful force in existence. When someone hurts you, the natural reaction is to respond with anger, to seek justice, to make them feel what you felt. But love is the one thing they can't defend against. When you choose love, you're choosing to rise above the negativity, the hurt, and the pain. You're choosing to protect your heart from becoming hardened by the cruelty of the world. You're choosing to break the cycle of revenge and retaliation that only perpetuates more hurt. Love is not about weakness, it's about strength in its purest form. It's about having the courage to face someone who has wronged you and still choosing compassion over bitterness, understanding over anger. The power of love lies in its ability to heal, not just for you, but for others. When someone hurts you, they may not even realize the consequences of their actions. They may be acting from a place of their own pain or frustration. Love allows you to see beyond the surface, to recognize that people hurt others because they themselves are hurting. Instead of fighting fire with fire, love allows you to respond with a different energy, one that breaks the cycle of negativity and creates the space for healing. Love also allows you to see your own worth. When you love yourself enough to not be dragged into conflict, to not let someone's actions determine how you feel, you empower yourself in ways that nothing else can. Love is the foundation for self-respect, and when you respect yourself, you don't need to seek revenge or harbor anger. You realize that your peace, your joy, and your growth are not tied to the actions of others. They are your own to protect, and love is the shield that helps you do that. Choosing love in the face of hurt doesn't mean you allow yourself to be mistreated or that you tolerate bad behavior. Love is not about enabling people to continue their harmful ways. It's about responding from a place of strength and dignity, refusing to let someone's actions control your emotions or dictate your response. Love is the ultimate weapon because it disarms the other person. It takes away their power over you and forces them to confront their own actions. Love exposes the truth of the situation, and often that truth is far more powerful than any retaliation or revenge could ever be. Love is transformative. When you respond with love, you begin to transform the energy around you. You break the pattern of hurt, and instead you create an environment where healing and understanding can flourish. When you love, you change not just your own heart, but the hearts of those around you. You set a higher standard, one that says, I will not be drawn into negativity. I will not let the world define me. I will choose love because it is the only thing that can truly set me free. Life has a way of throwing challenges our way. Sometimes it feels like we're being tested, pushed to the edge. We're asked to endure things that seem impossible. When we face hurt or hardship, we often ask, why me? It's easy to feel like the world is against us, like no matter how hard we try, life just keeps knocking us down. But if we take a moment to reflect, we'll realize that in every trial, there is a lesson hidden beneath the surface. You see, the pain we experience isn't just something to endure and move past, it's something to learn from. In the heat of the moment, when emotions are high and everything feels uncertain, we often miss the subtle messages that life is trying to teach us. But those lessons are there, waiting for us to find them. When someone hurts us deeply, it's an opportunity to examine how we handle pain. Do we lash out? Do we hold on to anger and bitterness? Or do we use that moment to grow? Every time we face hurt, we're being called to a deeper understanding of who we are and what we're capable of. The challenge isn't just the hurt itself, it's about how we respond. We have the choice to rise above it, to learn the strength it takes to forgive, and to walk away from a situation without letting it define us. Trials also teach us resilience. You may feel like you're broken, but you're not. You're being reshaped. You're being tested, not because life wants to see you fail, but because it wants to show you how strong you truly are. We don't always know what we're capable of until we're pushed to the limit. In those moments of difficulty, we find our true strength, our inner power, and our ability to bounce back stronger and wiser than before. And let's not forget that trials teach us about empathy and compassion. When we've been hurt, we begin to understand the pain of others in a way we never could before. We become more compassionate because we've walked through the fire ourselves. We learn to extend grace to others because we've experienced what it's like to need grace ourselves. We become more attuned to the suffering around us, and in turn, we become better equipped to help others navigate their own trials. Every trial is a teacher. It's easy to see challenges as burdens, as obstacles to our happiness, but they're often the very things that shape our character. They make us who we are. And while we may not always understand the lesson in the moment, looking back, we can see how those moments of struggle were the stepping stones to our growth. Letting go is one of the most powerful yet most challenging things we can do. It sounds simple in theory, but when we're faced with loss, betrayal, or disappointment, the idea of releasing the pain feels impossible. But there is an incredible freedom that comes with letting go, a freedom that many of us overlook until we find ourselves at a crossroads. Holding on to hurt, resentment, anger, or the past keeps us anchored in a place we were never meant to stay. We cling to these emotions because we believe that if we hold on tight enough, we can somehow control the situation or make things right. But what we don't realize is that by holding on, we're giving those negative emotions power over us. We're allowing the actions of others, or even the weight of our own mistakes, to dictate our future. The first step to letting go is realizing that we don't have to carry everything. We don't have to hold on to the grudges that weigh us down or the expectations that are impossible to meet. Many times, the things we hold on to aren't even ours to carry. Whether it's the pain someone else inflicted on us, the guilt we've been carrying for too long, or the fear of failure, we take on these burdens unnecessarily. When we learn to let go, we're not just releasing the weight of the past, we're reclaiming our own power. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean that the hurt never happened or that we erase the lessons we've learned. It means that we choose to stop allowing those things to control our thoughts, our decisions, and our lives. It means we accept that the past is behind us and that we can move forward without it dragging us down. The freedom that comes from letting go is about releasing the need to be right all the time. We often hold on to grudges because we feel justified in our anger, like we have every right to be upset. But when we let go, we release the need for validation, the need for an apology, the need for someone else to make it right. We stop waiting for things to be perfect or for the world to acknowledge our hurt, and we start living for ourselves, unencumbered by what happened before. When we let go, we also give ourselves permission to heal. Holding on to pain blocks us from moving forward. It prevents us from fully experiencing the joy, the love, and the opportunities that are waiting for us. It's like trying to walk while holding onto a heavy backpack. Every step feels like a struggle. But when we let go of that weight, we become lighter, freer, more open to the possibilities around us. Healing isn't possible when we're clinging to what's already been done. Only when we let go do we make space for something new, something better to come into our lives. Letting go doesn't just benefit us in the present, it creates the foundation for a better future. The more we let go of the past, the more we can embrace the present moment. And the more we embrace the present, the more we align ourselves with the future that's waiting for us. It's a cycle of growth, renewal, and freedom.